rather be down there playing rather than working up here this afternoon. Big loss for the Aces when he suffered the neck injury, out for the season. But 3 years of eligibility left, a bright future for the Evansville running game. Pavic to throw. Throws to the left side. This is Troy Staves at the 15. Schmalfeld and Logan are there to wrap him up.
For the most part, the Aces offensive line are giving their quarterbacks a great deal amount of time to throw the football.
Much better than they were earlier. In fact, he seems to have quite a bit of time. Gary McCall, again, was running down on the sideline pattern. And you got to watch him. They'll fake it to Staves in there and he'd drop the thing down in the corner to McCall. He split to the top of our screen.
First and 10 for UE. Pavic looking to the end zone. Barnett, incomplete. John Kennedy over there.
John Kennedy is a fellow that they are very high on at Indiana Central. He's a sophomore out of Indianapolis, and they think he's one super football player. He plays some free safety for them. Last year, I think he played a little linebacker. This year, they've got him as free safety, and they think he's an excellent football player.
It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 situation for UE. Pavic again at quarterback. Austin now at a running back position. Donnie Austin, the sophomore who started the game. Barnett on this side. Slot right. This is Collins to the 10. Breaks a tackle, falls forward inside the 10-yard line. Tim Motzinger. Tim Motzinger made sure that Collins didn't get away. Pick up a 4. The Aces with a 3rd and 6 situation at the 9. Pavic at quarterback. Austin and Collins are the running backs. Again, a slot right. And Barnett on this side. Pavic straight back, looking to the right, going for Staves. And again, Tom Collins had his hands on it and couldn't hang on. Pavic now 9 of 14 unofficially for 58 yards. And Evansville will go for the field goal on 4th and 6 at the 9.
I like what I just saw with number 75, Bless. Scott, here he is on the rush. The ball was thrown out. His defensive back almost picked it off, and he got himself into an excellent position to block if that fellow would have intercepted the pass.
Well, I tell you what, he's playing very well for the Greyhounds. He looks like a very good prospect for him.
Craig Helfert, the freshman from Greece, New York, will attempt the field goal. It'll be a 27-yard attempt from the 17-yard line. Aces trailing 7-0. The snap is good. The kick is up. It's high enough. It's long enough. And it's good. And the Aces are on the scoreboard. U of E breaks through with 6:46 to go in the half, and it's now 7-3, Indiana Central on top. Here it is again.
That was a little shank. From up here, it didn't look like it was good until all of a sudden it broke over. That was something the Aces need, Scott. You got to get on the board. It gives your offense a little kicker-upper, and consequently, I think this thing is still a pretty good football game.
Oh, it sure is.
We can move it a little bit.
that was a good ball control series for the Aces, but it all resulted in the fumble recovery by the defense and that big play on 4th down.
Are you partial to defense?
You could never tell I played linebacker.
Tim McMitchell and Greg Mills will be deep. Did you say play linebacker or played?
Well, I don't know which it is now.
You want a little public service announcement for NFL players here this afternoon? How do you feel about all this? You'd rather be playing, wouldn't you?
Just please send us money. We need it.
How long do you think it'll be, Scott?
I really have no idea, Bill. I initially didn't think it was going to last any more than a week or two, but now that it's already almost through its 3rd week, nobody really knows. Hopefully they'll get something done within the next week or two, or they might have to eventually call the whole season.
Boy, that'd be sad. A lot of money goes down the tubes, not only for the players, but the networks, the teams themselves. It's
Well, there's no winner in any strike, and it's just very unfortunate.
Helfert squibs it, rolls past one short man, then picked up by one of the fumble. Aces have it. I don't know who delivered the hit, but he sure separated the ball.
It's another big play on the kicking teams.
Number 20.
Mike Heyman had the ball, returning it, and he got stuck. And look at that bench.
Neil Tucker.
Neil Tucker
Came
delivered
out
the
like
hit.
he's the fellow
Here
that
it
had
is. Let's take
the
a
ball.
look. From another angle. 85. June Handy.
Another linebacker. See him making the plays all over the field.
They make them all over the field. Well, they ought to. There's nobody blocking on it. Not half the time, is it?
Pavick a throw on 1st and 10. Wide open, it
There he
stays a
goes.
lateral. That's a touchdown. Donnie Austin all the way. What a play. Razzle dazzle on the Aces lead. It is a ball game.
Practice that.
Huh?
Do you think that was a rehearsed play?
Sure it was. That was excellent.
And Donnie Austin, he knew when he got the ball it was all his.
There it is again.
Timing by the Aces, using a
We
trick
picked
play
him
like
up in
that
the end
after a
zone.
big turnover.
Watch the dance. The dance is worth it itself. The Aces on top. Bang, bang, one play.
What does this do to you, Scott, as a defensive person? Seriously, this
Well,
kind of
There's naturally a letdown as far as the defense is concerned, but that's something that if the Greyhounds want to get back in the game, that they've got to forget about right away and just continue to play the ball that they came here to play.
We'll show you the touchdown again after the extra point. Helfert will try it. It's down, it's up, it wobbles through, and the Aces in 2 plays have taken the lead 10-7 with 6:31 to go in the second quarter. Indiana Central, we were talking about their turnovers earlier, 24 in the first 4 games, 13 on interceptions, 11 on fumbles. They've turned it over twice so far this afternoon, and both times the Aces were able to convert.
Well, those turnovers are so very important, as we have been told many times by our head coach, Bud Grant, that they can mean the difference in any ball.
So again, the Aces will kick off, this time leading 10-7.
Don Austin's being treated quite royally down there on the sideline, Bill, by everyone around. How about that fellow that caught it, though, and had to shuffle it out there? He's the one that you got to give the credit to. He
Troy Staves.
He had to take the bolt.
Another short kick, and again, Indiana Central has trouble hanging on, and Peter Schwartz falls on the ball, and Indiana Central will take over 1st and 10. Alabama, Penn State, #1 game today on the collegiate schedule. Chris Treston is back there with highlights. Let's go to CT at the station.
Bill, 7-7 right now. Bama and Penn State, a high-scoring affair, still in the first quarter, and here's how the Bama score was set up. A block punt on Penn State's very first possession. It was Penn State having the punt blocked by Alabama. The Crimson Tide recovered the ball and ran it in. Here's the recovery. And then Walter Lewis on a 1st down and goal, a perfect option play, scores. Bama leads it 7-0. Now Blackledge to Kurt Warner, goes all the way, a 60-yard touchdown run, and now it's tied up 7-7 still in the first quarter.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much. 7-7, Penn State, Alabama. Indiana Central on 1st and 10 went for the long pass, called for illegal procedure. Here is the play you missed while we were looking at the Alabama-Penn State highlights. Vormer throwing long, and back there to break it up was Mark Hoffman.
I think we found out why Vollmer's in there. He threw the ball well at that time.
Randy Rogers was saying yesterday he expected to see Indiana throw long early in the game just to show the Aces they could pass the ball. That is their 3rd passing attempt of the afternoon.
Bill, this number 77 of Indiana Central's their right tackle. What an athlete he is. All-American in Division II in football and also track and wrestling.
Straight up the middle on the running play. Indiana Central's passing attack. Bomer's 2 of 3, net yards 0. Dave Fawnball on the stop, along with Carl Brown. Mike Schultz was in there also. The Evansville Rights product.
Bill, that fellow I was talking about, number 77, is Wade Hall. He's also All-American wrestler. He's quite a player.
All-American track, too.
Wade Hall.
5:45 to go. The Aces in bang-bang fashion have a 10-7 lead. This is a 3rd and 3 play for the Greyhounds. The give was to the first man through, McKinley, or check that, McMitchell, who never had his footing.
Carl Brown on the tackle, 76. That's the matchup that Coach Rogers told me about between he and Wade Hall.
Fortunately for the Aces,
You got big hands.
Carl
The
Brown
defensive
won that
unit
one.
played good, Scott.
I think that the Aces defense is playing very well. They're not allowing any big plays, and they're forcing Indiana Central to try and throw the ball, which they are not very accustomed to doing.
Mike Heyman will kick it away for Indiana Central. Deep for the Aces. Looks like Ty Kiza, and it is, along with Tom Isaacs. Heyman has the snap, moves forward. Good kick. High, end over end. Fair catch by Kiza, and he hangs on to it, as Kennedy was right there to make sure. And the Aces will take over 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line, leading 10-7 with 4:42 to go in the first half.
Well, this is a big series for the Aces offense. If they can mount another drive and get some more points on the board, they are definitely going to take control of this football game.
And the weather, Scott, has turned out to be pretty good. I said I shouldn't say that because invariably it'll start raining, but it looks pretty nice out there right now.
Oh, it's just a gorgeous day. I think everybody ought to come out and watch the second half.
I would think so.
Collins and Austin behind Ralph. 1st and 10. Jay Barnett at the 40, breaks the tackle to the 45. It's a foot race, cuts it back to the 40, still on his feet, loses his footing, gets it back to the 35, 30, 25 to the 20-yard line before he's dragged down. Again, the big play.
No one told him that the field was muddy, did they?
They certainly didn't.
That was just a great individual effort as far as Jay Barnett was concerned. He
Here you see it again, Scott.
made a great catch and made just an outstanding run after he caught the ball.
Barnett able to get all the way down to the 20-yard line. Make it the 23-yard line where Indiana Central now has their defensive chores cut out with 4:20 to go in the half. 10-7. Aces on top. Slot left. Pavick on the pitch to Andre Collins. Flags all over the place, and we'll do it all over. Have to wait to see what the official call is.
Bill, we got Scott Marsh up in our booth with us from Purdue. Got a little chip on his thumb. We're glad to see Scotty back up here. He said he's going to be ready to play next week.
I think
Scott, are they all good players?
I think the Boilermakers take on the Fighting Illini today, don't they? Well, we're going to have to make a little wager here at halftime.
Motion call against Evansville, bring up a 1st and 15 situation. Al Beatty now split to the left. Check that. It's Robbie Laux split to the left. Troy Staves in motion, and Pavick will throw. Dumps it off to Andre Collins. He's got a wall. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and then just 2 more yards, so it'll be a 2nd down and 13 situation.
I'm sure Randy'd like to get on the board with this series of down and go into half with a 17-point lead. That would be something that would make the halftime ceremonies a little easier.
Oh, it definitely would, especially if they can get any kind of points, even a field goal in this situation. They would have the momentum going into the second half, which is always important.
On this playback, you saw number 75, over 300 pounds, in on the stop on the sideline.
Second and 13, 3:10 to go. Pavick will drop back and will go from the shotgun with a slot left. Pavick looking, he's got McCall wide open and underthrew him. Gary McCall had his man beat, but the pass was underthrown. Tom Collins was back there defending.
We will probably keep that in our playbook, try to use that again after a while. He was wide open. Of course, they probably don't want us to get that open the next time. They might have a different game plan there.
Ralph Pavick unofficially now 12 of 18. Greg Halpert roaming up along the sidelines. Third and 13, 2:55 to go in the half. Aces leading 10-7. Pavick drops back. Dumps it over the middle, and Donnie Austin couldn't hang on. And the Aces are presented with fourth down, and Halpert comes on now. The freshman will try his second field goal of the afternoon. This will be a long kick out of that mud.
Tell you, this is going to be an extremely difficult kick. I don't think necessarily so. The distance is just the field conditions are just awful, and I doubt if he's going to have very good footing.
Well, hit it at about the 34. That'll make it a 44-yard attempt. The Aces already lead by 3. Halpert earlier kicked a 27-yard field goal to put the Aces on the scoreboard. They came back after a fumble recovery on the kickoff. Little razzle-dazzle resulted in a touchdown. It's now 10-7. The Aces looking to beat the lead right here. The kick is high enough. Is it going to be long enough? It hit the crossbar. Boy, a heartbreaker.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have to. Fortunately, I didn't have to eat my words there. That was really a tremendous kick, and just fell about a foot
That little
short.
fella had an awful lot of foot in that ball, and I was beginning to wonder what the rule was when it hit. I guess when it hits that crossbar, it's a dead ball.
I think so.
So Indiana Central will take over. First and 10 from the 27. They'll have 2 minutes and 43 seconds to work with here in the first half. The freshman Vormer still the quarterback. Scarpone and McMitchell are the running backs. The pitch is to McMitchell along the left side for a couple of yards. Phil Mortis out of Wrights High School here in Evansville to make the stop. Pick up of a couple. It'll be 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8 for Indiana Central.
They've probably run the sweep more today than they have in the last 4 ball games, trying to get to the outside.
That's where the good footing is, right?
It is on that sideline right now, yes.
Vormer might throw. Looks. That's an incomplete pass. Had it batted down or had his arm grabbed by Carl Brown, the freshman out of Indianapolis, 6'4", 265. Brown and some of his friends in there on the stop. So Indiana Central now with a 3rd and 8. Vormer looking, now he's in trouble, gets it away.
This is anybody's.
Mark Hoffman, I believe, over there made the swan dive into the mud to try and come up with that one. Incomplete pass, and Indiana Central's run out of downs, and they'll kick it away with 1:53 to go. So the Aces will get another chance to put some points on the board. Again, Kiza and Isaacs are deep. Awaiting the punt from Mike Heyman, as Randy Rogers watches on. Does a little more than watches.
He's expressing a desire there, Bill.
Did Coach Watson ever do that, Scott?
He was a maniac on the sidelines. We never knew exactly what was going through. Just kidding, just kidding.
It's a maniac off the sideline. Waiting for a dry football for Heyman to kick away. One bad snap has already cost Indiana Central one punt. Heyman's got the snap, good snap. Gets away a good kick. This is Isaacs back near the 31, cuts around a block from Kiza. Hoffman delivered a block. Flags fly all over the place. And Isaacs is wrapped up, and another flag goes flying, and there goes another one. They're going to carpet the field with those things here in a minute.
Well, I think we have 2 or 3 different calls out there, Bill. I think we have some clipping calls, and then I think number 52 expressed a desire to one of the other players that one of the officials didn't particularly care for. So this is going to be interesting to watch. What do you think, Scott? You were looking at number 9 here on the clip. You'll see it in our picture.
Well, usually when you see a flag on a play like this, it's either a clip on the defense or a holding call. And now I think they've also got either a personal foul or a unsportsmanlike conduct call on the Greyhound. So hopefully they may be offsetting penalties.
The officials will caucus to decide the dilemma. Meanwhile, we've got 1:37 left to go in the first half. Indiana Central trailing Evansville 10-7. There you see the officials for this afternoon's ball game.
Mike Walkie, Steve Welmer. You know who that fellow is. Randy Smith, Russ Owens, Jack Chestnut, Steve Welmer, Farmer, U of E. Great basketball player.
That's the Whale. The Whale, he's probably right out in his conditions out here in all this mud.
There's an unsportsmanlike call against Indiana Central. And a clip call against Evansville. Those will offset, and Evansville will go from the 32, 1st and 10.
Did the Illini play the Purdue's today?
Yes,
They're
playing
Illinois
up in Champaign, as a matter of fact.
Scott, of course, pulling for Illinois, I would imagine.
Of course.
And this Scott Marsh standing behind us, pulling for Purdue.
I'll hold these fellas apart so there won't be any fighting in the booth.
You and Scott are going to arm wrestle at halftime, aren't you?
Right.
On the give. Grant Gray on the carry. Evansville in the hurry-up offense. Pavic at the controls. Out of the shotgun. Pickup of 1, 2nd and 9. 1:18 to go. Flag on the play. And the whistle is dead. The Indiana Central passing game, as we talked about, less than effective. Vollmer is 1 for 5 this afternoon. Again, the net yardage remains 0.
I think the Aces have to be careful or guard against causing any kind of turnovers here down in their field position. A turnover for the Greyhounds would definitely be a great confidence builder for them and give them a chance to maybe get back in the game.
Sophomore receiver Al Beatty into the game. Gary McCall comes to the sideline. That's our location, high above Central Stadium. The sports director stands alone, I guess. Don Watson, Scott Studwell, Bill Van Alstyne, our statistician this afternoon. Bubby Lewis is here to help keep track of who's who down there in the slosh. 2nd and 14 for the Aces with 2:14 to go in the quarter. This is Grant Gray, got to the 30. Kurt Hughes among several Indiana Central Greyhounds to drive him back. Jeff Colton was there. Mick Schnell reports into the game. Schnell missed last week's game with an injury.
Here's a little replay on that. 28 made an excellent hit for Kurt Hughes for Indiana Central.
Came up and filled very well from his strong safety position.
On 3rd and 12 with the clock running, 39 seconds to go. Pavic will let this tick down. The Aces will just run out the clock now, I believe. The backs are split. The give is to Schnell. Gets a couple to the 30, still moving to the 35-yard line.
He looks well.
Good young run. Now timeout is called. Indiana Central will make the Aces kick. They'll burn a timeout with 23 seconds to go. 10-7. Evansville leads. Randy Rogers and company will decide how to handle this situation. 4th and 8. The poor field position. 23 seconds remaining in the half. Earlier this morning, had the pleasure of judging some of the lawn decorations at the University of Evansville for homecoming.
Was that before the rains?
That was in the rain. Terry Ballot will kick it away.
Scott, you think they'll put a rush on this?
Well, I don't think they have anything to lose it, although it looks like they're playing it safe. They've got 2 people deep, and it doesn't look like they're going to apply a lot of pressure unless they move up into the line late.
Ballot gets it away. Good, beautiful kick. Down to the 20-yard line. Along the left side, he's got some room. Horvath. Inside the 40. Fine return. Brad Love drove him out of bounds.
Watch Neil Tucker here. You'll see that Neil missed the tackle because he didn't what we call gather up, right? He went in there with those feet together, and I'm sure he's talking to himself on the sideline right now. In fact, Coach Rogers is talking to him on the sideline.
What's he saying, Don?
He's saying gather up a little bit. Don't overcommit yourself.
Well, that's the exact same return that the Greyhounds used the last punt that they received and almost broke one, and the Aces are going to have to make some adjustments on their punt team or else they're going to get hurt.
Too many people running up the middle, huh?
Well, there's no question about it. The Greyhounds are doing an excellent job of setting up their wall.
8 seconds to go. Indiana Central with 1 timeout remaining.
Scott, what defense would the Minnesota Vikings be in with 8 seconds and ball on the 38-yard line?
Well, what we would usually employ our 6 backs defense, where we put 2 additional defensive backs in and take out 2 of our linebackers to give us more speed and better coverage in the game. They'll obviously play a prevent defense here. I think Indiana Central is forced to throw the football, so they're going to play deep and just keep them from getting in the end zone.
That little play kind of helped matters. The boy bumbled a ball from center.
Well, that's the kind of play the defense likes to see.
Burned off 4 seconds. Indiana Central will get one last chance with 4 seconds to go in the half, trailing 10-7. Dave Bohnball comes to the sidelines to confer with Randy Rogers, Rick Langway, the Aces Brain Trust. There's the story. Central Stadium on homecoming Saturday. University of Evansville leading 10-7. Alabama now has stepped in front of Penn State 14-7 in the first quarter. Get a chance to look at the homecoming court. Boy, I hope they don't put them on the field at halftime. That'd be a real mess. Indiana Central, 1 out of 5 through the air for a net gain of no yards, so their passing attack less than effective. Will be going long here with 4 seconds to go. Time for 1 play, no timeouts remaining for the Greyhounds. They came into the game 1-3, 0-1 in the Heartland Conference. They lost last week 17-0. We're trailing 3-0 with less than 5 minutes to go. Gave up 2 late second half touchdowns to Ashland, the power to beat, according to many in the Heartland Conference. The Aces, of course, 1-0 in the conference. Last week's 26-21 win here over St. Joe's. Now here's Vormer dropping back. Slips, but keeps his footing. Looks, throws long into quadruple coverage, and it's picked off. This is Mark Hoffman to the Keezer, to the 30. Now looks to reverse his field and goes down at about the 28, and that'll kill the half. Time has expired in the first half. And the Evansville Aces, who put 10 points on the board in 2 offensive plays, lead at halftime 10-7. We'll be back in a minute.
University of Evansville football is brought to you in part by your local Snapper and Echo dealers and by Evansville Dodge, 1730 West Franklin.
Indiana Central trails University of Evansville Purple Aces at the half. In the first half, the Evansville Aces obviously with the scoring advantage. They got 10 points on 2 consecutive offensive plays after Indiana Central failed to handle a kickoff. First half stats for this afternoon's ball game. Indiana Central, the first downs, a big factor there. Rushing yardage total, but Scott, look at that passing yardage.
Well, I tell you what, it's just the game's going just the way the 10-7 score indicates. They can't seem to get anything in the air, and the Aces are doing a great job against the run.
Of course, the turnover is crucial. Evansville able to capitalize on 2 of those 3 Indiana Central turnovers. Total yards 183 to 50. The penalties 2 for 20 and 4 for 30 for the Greyhounds. Again, as we approach the second half kickoff, Evansville leads Indiana Central 10-7. We'll be back with that kickoff in a minute.